On my way over to the Meadows right now, it is going to be hard to outdo yesterday's feelings, I guess. Listen, we have horses racing today. Grand Slam Dio, I'm super excited to race her. Freedom Hill tonight, a number of horses I have to drive. It's been a great week. It's been a little slow at the track because we haven't had a lot of horses entered this week. But it certainly hasn't been slow at the qualifiers. Man, great run we've been on, 21 for 21 getting the horses qualified. I want to talk about who I believe is going to qualify next week. I believe we have 11 slated to come over here. As of right now, we have 19 to qualify in the 22nd, and that could easily become 20 or 21 here over the next week, depending on what happens. I want to talk about them. I want to talk about the horses I believe are going to Kentucky. I want to talk about the horses I believe will be qualifying here, and then some horses that are going to be a little bit behind. I'll start with the ones that are behind, because a lot of people are asking, where's this? Obviously, it's human nature. You see the horses go and qualify as well as they did yesterday. Anthony, where's Love Sensation? When's she going to qualify? Why are we giving Riding the Rodeo a week off? Why are we giving Solidarity a week off? How did Sterling Hanover do? Where's Neuromancer? What's he doing? These are all questions people are asking, right? And I want to get out in front of it and just explain everything to everybody. Now, Hanger 1 trained this morning in 226. He was very good. Little tender on his foot still. We had fiberglassed it all up this morning. By the time we got into our mile, I think it was more tentative on his part because that has hurt him for 2, 3, 4 weeks now. So I think he was a little tentative on it. And as he started to focus on the work ahead and less about what was going on, all of a sudden he was sound. Finished up his mile good, looked really good. He was training with Royal Duchess. I was really, really happy with him, the way he went. Now, where does that put him? Okay, it's a good question. First off, let's see how he looks tomorrow. And then we'll formulate a plan moving forward. I don't think you're going to see a Hanger 1 surface until Lexington anyway. Same as Neuromancer. My plan is to have them ready for Lexington. Steady Volo, Lexington. Solidarity, Lexington. You know, I had a client asked me yesterday, Anthony, after such a good qualifier, why would you possibly give Solidarity a week off, and why aren't we getting him ready for Pennsylvania? Because I don't want to. I don't want to bring him to a big track, qualify him on a 7/8, rush him over here, because I'm going to tell you one thing. There's nothing waiting for him here except for speed, talent, depth. Pennsylvania's tough. And it's not like Lexington is any easier. The track is, though. It's a nice big mile track. We'll get some good lines on Solidarity, right? The whole point is to have the best version of each and every horse. I went through this with my wife today. She called and said Sterling Hanover made a noise training. Now he's flushed his guttural pouches. The vet said the mechanics in his throat were perfect. There was nothing wrong last week. She couldn't explain why he made a noise training, except his guttural pouches were full. Maybe there's some swelling and inflammation in there. We'll flush those, give him a week off, train him. We took him to Mohawk and trained him today. James Utley's making a noise. Now, how does that happen? Why does it happen? And what is it? Now, the what is it is a little more complicated. Could be a number of things. Sometimes what we'll do is, step 1, put the dynamic scope on them. Now, the dynamic scope is a scope they wear during training. It's a little more pliable. It's an apparatus that the horses actually wear while they're training. Does this person know it's a merge lane or no? So they wear this while they're training. Now, you'll be able to see what happens in the mile. Sometimes the horse, that airway will collapse. Immaturity, just needs to be stronger, just needs to grow up. It could be related to something like EPM. Sometimes if the horses are coming off the virus, their immune system's a little bit weaker, obviously, and they're more prone to doing that. They're more prone to displacing somewhat. So it's just a matter of treating them with Baycox or with Marquis, going easy with them, giving their body time, and then you can start back with them. As I said, there might be an ulcer hidden underneath that soft palate that you can't see. Could be a number of things. The most important thing, which is very, very important, we can do that. Oh, right on time. The veterinarian, I'd messaged him and just said, Sterling Hanover made a noise today. Could we put the dynamic scope on him? He said, yes, that won't be a problem. Good. The most important takeaway from all of this is the first thing I said. The mechanics, there's no lazy side of his palate. There's no paralysis. There's no, there's nothing wrong with the mechanics of his throat, aside from what we can hear and what is going on. So we just have to answer why. Why is it doing it? And then the how. How do we treat it? So that's where we're at with Sterling Hanover. But again, we need to see the best form of all these horses. Neuromancer, we talked last week about how he was a little immature. I sent him over to Ontario, train on a bigger track, stretch out. Physically, he needs to grow up. Mentally, he needs to grow up. So let me know when that is. There's no point in trying to half-ass it or half-measure it and say, well, he's pretty good, let's get him in to go. I can tell you where that leads, and no one is going to be happy with that scenario. They need to be dialed in physically and mentally. So Hanger 1, physically, he's behind a little bit because he had injured his foot. He's fine now. He trained good this morning. Let's see how he looks tomorrow. Jailbird Jog, totally different situation. She feels like she wants to compete in the Breeders' Crown next week. So there's no need to keep her engines lit. Go easy. Usually, I would want to keep forward progression, but as I said in the video yesterday, this is an abnormally fast animal. And I have to look at the big picture and say, okay, let's assume we only have so many starts. Let's make each one count. Now, you do have to have a prep race. We have a July the 4th kindergarten race, July the 11th, New Jersey, if we go to New Jersey. Yesterday, I didn't want to bother. I didn't want to put her in a place where she was going to be asked to do too much work than she was maybe comfortable doing. So maybe New Jersey wasn't the best start right away. Then when I went with her, it became very apparent that she's a freak of nature and doesn't get tired like everybody else. Now, if Scotty calls me and says, hey, I just watched a Melander horse, Burke horse, Nancy horse, 2-year-old trotting filly qualify, and it's an absolute monster. Okay, let's go where they're not. Then we can pivot. Now, I've backtracked twice now. Or initially, I thought she'd just go to New Jersey, kindergarten stakes, see what she is. Then I said, no, this is super talented filly. Let's hide her. We'll go to Oak Grove. Not that that would be easy, but it wouldn't be as difficult as New Jersey. Let's hide her in Oak Grove and then focus on Kentucky. They're both Kentucky. I apologize. Focus on Lexington. And then after yesterday's qualifier, well, let's see how tough New Jersey looks, how the qualifiers go, because I have no idea how fast this filly could go right now. It would be a scary, scary time, I can tell you that. So I'm of the belief now that speed is not going to inhibit her way forward in any way. So maybe we'll focus on New Jersey again. I pivoted again. Now, if I get that call from Scotty, maybe we can pivot once again. But as I talk to you right now, this video, her first start will be possibly at the Meadows or maybe a prep at the Meadowlands with the belief that she would race in the kindergarten first lag on the 4th of July and then subsequently race in the first New Jersey Sire Stakes on June 11th. We can't do both. The final for Kentucky is June the 14th, or July the 14th, and the first leg of the Sire Stakes is July 11th in New Jersey. So one or the other. One will lead to the other anyway. After New Jersey, she'll likely go to Lexington. So totally different situation there. Solidarity. People asking me, you said James wanted to give him a week off. Why would you do that? Why not? What's the rush? I have zero interest in going to Pennsylvania with Solidarity. None at this point. I would say he's going to race 2-3 times in Ontario, and then we'll ship him down to Lexington, Kentucky. That would be my thought process. Now, as I say that, can that change? Yes, it can. It will depend on what James says and how the horse looks over the next 2-3 weeks. Sterling Hanover, we talked to him about him. Neuromancer, again, these are two horses. One If he's good enough, we'll go to New Jersey latter part of the summer, that being Sterling Hanover. The other one, Neuromancer, would likely show up in Lexington if he puts it all together in time. It's likely. Steady Bolo will end up in Kentucky. You'll see him qualified this week at Mohawk. Riding the rodeo, I think it's just a week to gather herself again, be able to aggressively treat her and her allergies, and put her back into qualify next week with the understanding that she'll likely race at Grand River, Georgian, somewhere like that. Prep race, maybe a stake, and at the point, if it seems like she's struggling a bit or her airway is becoming a little more compromised than we liked because of those allergies, then we'll just shut her down, with the understanding that she'll be started back up and ready to go for end of August, first part of September. And then Perfect Thought looked amazing this week. Her stakes don't start till July also. End of June, July, somewhere around there. We'll probably race her once before we send her to New Jersey this week or next. And then we'll see how Perfect Thought looks, but certainly looks pretty impressive from where I sit. Now, this morning, as I said, I went with Hanger 1, Royal Duchess. They look good. Royal Duchess chewing on herself a little bit, always is, but she looks sound. She looked good to me. Love Sensation did make a break training today. She's touching herself a little bit, maybe feeling sorry for herself a tiny bit, as I asked her to train without flip-flops on. We'll see how she looks on Saturday. I believe you'll see her qualify at the Meadows on Tuesday. Hold on. We'll get to that qualifying list in just a second. In New York, also trained 2.6, 2.7. We'll bring him over to the Meadows and we'll see what he looks like. He doesn't look like he's going to be a competitor in Oak Grove right away. He has been in the fairs down there. He is. Now, I opted to not send him down for the 18th fair. Now, Eric is potentially going to be down there for the 18th. We could race him in that, but I don't think so. I think we'll wait. We'll qualify him at the Meadows this Tuesday, see how he feels. If he goes a fast enough mile, I could be talked into sending him to Oak Grove and racing him at in the Oak Grove Numbers 1, Numbers 2, maybe the stake races, or we could probably farm him out to somebody down there. I don't think Eric wants to go to all the little fairs. Race him a couple of fairs. I'd like to get a mark on him, have him do okay, and then put him away for a little bit, bring him back in the fall. I think he's going to be a nice horse for us, but just maturity-wise, he just needs to grow up a little bit. I think it's a big deal. And I think it's important. I say that, people are like, just wanted to see him race. Oh, cool. We can race him. You're not going to like what you see. All the horses don't mature at the same time, and it's a very, very, very important for everybody to understand. If you're going to have a competitive 2-year-old in the overnight or the stake scene, that horse has to be ready to race. Not just present, but mentally and physically ready to go. Unless you just have a freak of nature and you're trying to work the wrinkles out as you go through the year. But if you have a 2-year-old trotter, you want to have everything polished up pretty good as you head into the summer. Otherwise, you're literally bringing a knife to a gunfight more times than not. And you don't want to be the guy holding the knife. So in New York, trained pretty good today. He'll qualify on Tuesday. I trained Bobby, 19 last half at 4 at 1.5 miles with no hobbles on. Now, I don't think she's quite smart enough to race with no hobbles on just yet, but she did train well today and felt pretty comfortable for Bobby. I was happy with her. Aunt Sarah, I thought, looked incredible this morning. A little off left front, her knees a little pinchy. That's been her MO from day one, but had her ears up and was trotting hard going through the wire. Never put a step in and never let up. I was thoroughly pleased with not just what I felt, but what I saw with Aunt Sarah. She looked very good this morning. Now, that leads us to Tuesday's qualifiers. What are we looking at? Love Sensation, I just mentioned to you. I suspect she'll be on site Tuesday morning at the Meadows. In New York, I expect him to be on site and ready to qualify here at the Meadows on Tuesday morning. Captain Doolittle will go again. I think that speaks for itself. I told everybody he's going to need some heavy lifting for the next 3 weeks, and I suspect when he shows up at the first Stallion Series race here in Pennsylvania, he will trot in 58 apiece. That is my prediction for Captain Doolittle. Degas, we did not train her hard today. She looked a lot better. We're going to run fluids into her this afternoon and make sure she's ready to go for tomorrow. I'm going to train her tomorrow about 2:06, 2:07, and then she will qualify Tuesday morning at the Meadows. She has to, because she is slated to be in Kentucky for June 23rd stake race. Don't ask again, we'll go again. Goes without saying. I'd like to see an extension of what she did yesterday. Very happy with the way she looked yesterday. Go Strong Hanover, we're going to make a little shoeing change on him. Put the hobbles on him. Put a chain in his mouth. There'll be no more getting hot and running away on Anthony. Negative. You're going to behave yourself and qualify well on Tuesday, and I expect he will. I'm toying with the idea of Leland Hanover just because we found those splints, trained him today. He trained fantastic today. And the way that he trained today would make me believe that he is well on his way to being the horse I predicted he would be. So very happy to see those splints pop. And thank you again to Dr. Latessa for getting on that quickly and getting them cleaned up quickly. Royal Flush Deal will go again. I think that goes without saying. Wasn't disappointed with his qualifier. I'd like to see him come back with 59 or 2 minutes next week. We'll see how that plays out. I'm torn. Tomboy Strong, Uncle Danny, Diosidella, Donza, Highest Honors. What do we do with these horses next week? That's the 17th. That would be 18 days before the next generation. 25th. You know, we could race them twice at the Meadows, all four of them. Their third start would be 19th, 26th. 9 days to the race in Ohio. That seems logical to me. All four seemed very strong last week. So that may be exactly what we do. You may see those four horses race next week. I don't think there's any reason. Diosidella Donza, she was fine at the gate, a little hot. Put a cord or mini bit in her mouth with a set of earplugs, we can fix that. Highest Honors was strong. Did everything perfect. Uncle Danny was incredible, and Tomboy Strong was good also. I don't see any reason or necessity. They could come back and qualify again, but do they have to? I suppose so. It's not a big deal either way. But those four also, I couldn't have them slated. I had 10 or 11 slated to re-qualify, but those four were on that list. So, do we? What you might see us do is enter them into qualify and into race. They draw the qualifiers Monday morning. They draw for Thursday, Monday morning. They draw for Friday, Tuesday morning. Before they would have to qualify, we would know if any or all four of them would be entered into race. If they entered into race, we just don't qualify them. I think that's a fair plan. I like that plan. I think that's exactly what we'll do. Now, on the 22nd, who do we have? Aunt Sarah. Yes. Capistrano Knights. Yes. Emerald Tom. Had to know. He's a Fearless Peter. Now, I had Highest Honors on this list, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think he'd be racing by then. So we've gone from 20 to 19. I think we'll probably get back up to 20, truthfully. There'll be a horse to qualify along the way. So we'll have 20 to qualify, which would be 4 sets of 5 on qualifying day, I think. Seems fair to me. Joe J. Fotag, yes. Jolene Hall, yes. Judy's Money, yes. Megan's Lucky Day will be there on the 22nd also. These horses don't race till like the 13th of July, so before you say, well, that's a little late, are they going to be ready? Yeah, they'll be ready to go. Don't worry about that. Millie Girl. I said we'd take her next Tuesday there. I think we'll wait. I think I'll train her in the race bike Saturday at Northfield Park. Because she is coming off tying up. She was a little picky with her feed today. I may change my mind, but as of right now, I'm leaning towards a fast training mile on Saturday, and then 8 days later, with a training mile in between, but 8 days later, right there at home, Northfield Park and qualifier would be her first one. She doesn't need ready until the first part of July anyway, so again, lots of time there. I'll double check, but I may change my mind, but for right now, I'm leaning towards her going to Northfield. My name's Swaney. Her second qualifier doesn't need to be at the Meadows. We can race her at Northfield Park, qualifier at Northfield Park next week. Again, when we look at their staking, it's not until well after the first part of July. No, I can tell you exactly when it is. I'm wrong. It's July the 5th. You know why I know that? Because it's the afternoon at the Meadows, and at nighttime we have the Next Generation races. That's exactly why I know. So maybe they will have to qualify in, Wayne's already qualified. So another qualifier on the 22nd is certainly not going to hurt her at all. Or we could qualify her again Tuesday and race her 8 days out. That's a possibility also. So this list might be a little lower, it might be 18 instead of 19. Perfection Hanover doesn't race until the 19th. So there won't be a problem at all for Perfection Hanover. Pretty Eyes and Lies, I haven't made my mind up yet. Stay close to Northfield for a start, or do we go on the 22nd? Do we go on the 22nd at Northfield, or do we go back at the Meadows for next week? It'll depend on her first Stallion Series. She needs at least another qualifier and a race before that can take place. Rico Tubbs, same type of thing. Doesn't race till later on in the start of July. I think maybe the first week at some point. Just want to keep him fresh. Rosa and Bobby for sure will qualify. Royal Duchess will qualify. Steph's Hope, and Supermind. So around 18 to 20 horses will qualify on Open House Day in Ohio. So that is what is going on right now. I thought I'd try and do my best to give everybody an update on every horse, where they're going, when they need to race, why are some of the horses lagging a little bit. I hope I explained that to you. When will it be ready? Where are they going? Again, I think that's well documented. So I hope everybody's caught up now when it comes to the babies. As of this Tuesday coming, somewhere between 7 to 11 horses will qualify at the Meadows. The following Sunday is our open house on June the 22nd, isn't it? And we will have somewhere between 18 and 20 to qualify that day. Come on out. Brunch will be, it'll be a great time. We got brunch. I know that it was going to cost us $15 or something. I'm going to see if I can twist John's arm and have him pick up the latter part of that bill for there. I had picked up the first part. Maybe John can pick up the second part, and it'll be a free brunch for everybody. That's my hope. I want to get as many people out as we can. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. Long range forecast has it 26 Celsius and sunny, so that's 52 and 32 is 84 Celsius or 84 Fahrenheit on the 22nd as of right now for our open house. So it should be a beautiful day. We already have lots of people waiting for it and on their way in. If you feel like you'd like to come, there is or will be an RSVP form. I think we have 100 seats right now. Last year we filled those up pretty easily, and hopefully we will again this year. So that is what is up at the barn. The open house is on its way. The babies are qualifying good. 21 for 21 so far. 21 went behind the gate, and all 21 have qualified as of right now in the stable. I told everybody that we have, I think, 45 or 46 horses in our roster. I suspect by the middle to latter part of July, every single one of the 46 will be qualified. And that's an incredible feat. And a feather in the caps of all of our employees here at the stable. So I hope you are having a wonderful day. Good luck to all my partners today. I will talk to you all very soon. Looking forward to Grand Slam Dio and Freedom Hill, a couple other drives. It should be a nice day here in Ohio, Pennsylvania. Take care.